Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Mindful Health Podcast. Today I want to talk about things that I see online a lot on Instagram about movements that are bad, exercises that are bad, anything like that. So my kind of philosophy is that there are no bad movements, no bad exercises, no bad ranges of motion as far as you're going into too far of a range for a certain exercise, as long as everything happens for a reason. So something may seem so out of ordinary for you, or that exercise is useless for you. But if you talk to that person, right, maybe they have a very specific thing they're working on. Maybe they have a specific goal, specific activity that they're working on, and that exercise is beneficial for them. I do think too many people perform exercises or activities, things that they see just because they saw it online, and the person that was doing it, maybe they had great movement abilities, maybe they were super strong, maybe they look super good. So people take that as credibility and just say, oh, well, they said it's beneficial, so I should do that. You should understand the reason for why you're doing it. You should understand that whatever your goal is for doing this activity, that it is actually doing that for you. So as long as you have a reason for it, I don't think there are bad exercises or bad movements. Some people would say, right, certain exercises are bad for you. I've had people tell me deadlifts are bad, Jefferson curls are bad. If your knees past your toes on a squat, it's bad. Fully squatting to the bottom of a squat is bad. Rounding your back during any sort of movement is bad. So there's a lot of people that will say certain things like that. But as a human body, right, you're meant to move. Your body's going to adapt over time to anything. If you look at people who are able to do unbelievable feats, do crazy things with their bodies, that's just adaptation over time, which anyone can do. So the issue with people getting hurt is their bodies aren't ready for the typical load, the stress, whatever that adaptation is. Their body isn't ready for it, so therefore people get hurt. So one thing that I actually like to do, which sometimes makes my training look a little weird, is I train in not crazy positions, but different positions or more extreme positions, right? When I sprained my ankle, I was doing different movements, jumping movements, hopping movements in an inverted position. So I was in ankle sprain position, so that when my body got to those positions, the joints, the ligaments, the muscles were able to tolerate it because they were used to it, as well as they were able to react faster to stabilize the joint. So I'm a big fan of training in positions that you're going to end up getting into throughout the day anyways. Nothing is perfect in the world, right? You could have a perfect squat, but if your spine has never been trained outside of that perfect squat form, say you have to pick a box up at home or something and you're not able to get in a position, right, to keep that neutral core or neutral trunk. So you go to squat, right, you're not in a perfect position because you can't be, and then now your back hurts because your body is not used to that. Your body's never been in that position. Your body hasn't adapted to that. Right, if we take it all the way back to doing more like primal movements, if that's what you want to call it, or just back in the day when people were doing manual labor, nothing is perfect, right? The ground is uneven. Things aren't uniquely symmetrical like they are in a gym. Everything's not at the perfect height for you. Nothing has a great handle. So to think that you have to train a neutral position or the best position isn't really true. Your body will adapt to anything over time, and I think it's important that you do that. Now, that's not to say that there isn't a proper way or a most efficient way to do a lift, right? If you want to be proficient and lift the most weight, there is a better way to do it. If you want to, be able to do it the safest way, a proper way, right, there is a better way to do it. If I had to lift a box up from the ground, I'm going to brace my core. I'm going to try to keep a nice level trunk or stable trunk, nice straight line, and I'm going to try to lift with my legs. But if I had to where I couldn't get into that position, from what my training, from what I do, I would still be able to do it without a problem. So I think it's important to train outside those positions as well. But like I said, if you're just looking for this, I want to be able to lift the most amount of weight, or I want to be able to do it the most efficiently. If that's your only goal, maybe your only goal is aesthetics look, right? Then doing those things with proper form is perfectly fine. And there's nothing wrong with it. But I just go to say, don't judge someone for doing something specific, right? Because maybe they have a certain goal for it. Or don't try to tell people that they can't do certain things, right? I'll do like a sissy squat and I'll get comments that my knees are going to blow out, my knees won't be healthy, I wear barefoot shoes, and I've had people tell me, oh, just wait till your feet get to my age and they're going to be hurting you and stuff like that. So just because someone's doing something different That doesn't mean it's not good for them, right? Just because it's outside the norm of what you typically see doesn't mean it's bad. So take some time, right? Look at it from an outsider's perspective and kind of see what benefits it could have, maybe even for your training. And then just make sure that you always have a why for why you're doing things. And the kind of reason also I bring this up is because there's lots of people out there saying, right, you can't do this, it's bad for your knees. Don't do this, it's bad for your back. Our bodies are not fragile, right? We're very strong, robust, resilient humans, and our bodies are capable of crazy things, especially if you look at records or just crazy things that people are able to do. Your body is not going to break. Your body's not going to be misaligned unless you have a crazy trauma or anything like that. Your back's not going to go out, right? These are all perceptions or sensations that we feel, but our bodies are not fragile. You're strong. So just don't be scared of movement. Don't be fearful of movement. And that's kind of a big thing that I always preach to patients as well. You shouldn't be afraid to move because movement's always going to be beneficial for you. So thank you guys for listening. If you like it, let me know what other content you guys would like to hear. But other than that, we'll see you next time.